Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about how to repurpose your content so that you can take one piece of content and turn it into many pieces of content. Let's get into today's video. Hi there, my name is Brandon Brashears. I create daily marketing videos, so if you're looking to grow your brand or your business with digital marketing, this is a great channel for you. You should totally subscribe. If you have any questions or comments or you need help with anything, don't hesitate to reach out by commenting down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and let's get into it. So, content creation is extremely important, and the reason why I think that it's so important is because you need to be contacting and communicating with your customers every single day. And if you're not doing it, then some of your competition is. So how can you create content, especially if you're super busy? And I know that business owners are super busy. One thing that business owners never say is, geez, I have so much time on my hands, what should I do today? It's never that. That's not something that anybody says. So being that case that you're busy, and I get it, you're busy, there's always something to do. How can you take one piece of content and turn it into multiple pieces of content? This is called repurposing. Now, a few things that I think we should consider before we get started here. Number one, if you are creating content, you're just not going to be sure what's going to hit or miss. And that's just the way that it is. I'm super interested to see videos that I think will work well. And when I'm going through and I'm optimizing content that I'm creating and things, I say, okay, this is going to work really well. I think this is going to be a good piece of content. It's going to get discovered. It's going to rank well. It doesn't end up working. And then the content that I don't know about ends up working really well. So you just don't know until it gets out there and people either respond to it or they don't. And so that being the case, it's kind of cool to test the waters. And that's why I think that when you're creating content and if you're not exactly sure what are the major pain points for your clients or customers, what is it that they're actively looking for? What is it that they want? There's so many times when in your mind you're going to say, this is something that everybody needs to know about. They need to understand this concept. I'm going to put this wonderful training out and people are going to love it. And then it falls on deaf ears, right? So how do you find out what's working and what's not? And I think that this is done through consistency. Number one, you need to be consistent. People need to think about you when whatever it is that you do comes up. If somebody says, I really need help with Facebook ads. Are you the Facebook ad guy? That comes to mind right away. If somebody says, I need to sell my house. I need to list my house. How can somebody who knows you, how should they know that you're the real estate person? Or if you say, I need a loan, who is the loan person, right? Content and branding and staying consistent and following up help people to really get, in their heads that, oh, you know what, Brandon is my marketing guy. I totally should reach out to him. I need help with this new business idea. Or if somebody says, I'm trying to start a business and I need help with marketing. If one of my friends said, you know what, I know the guy to introduce you to. You need to talk to Brandon. If I'm thinking of loans, for example, I'm thinking of my friend Jesse, who's the best loan guy in the whole world. So, through content, through communication and engagement and branding, you're able to be that person for the marketplace. And so, number one, you have to be consistent. So how can you be consistent? I think that this is done in choosing a medium that suits your personality and that suits the things that you like to do. Some people will say you need to write blog posts. Specifically, like Seth Godin says, you need to do writing every day. Every day you write something. I get that. That's because Seth is a writer. Gary Vaynerchuk will say you need to make videos every single day. And that's because he's great on video. And people in between, depending on what they're good at, and maybe somebody will say you need to do podcasting, or you need to do photography, or whatever it is, you need to figure out what works for you, and not only what works for you, but what you're going to do on a consistent basis. Now, there's going to be times where you don't feel like creating content, and that is okay. Here's a secret: I did not feel like creating content today, but here I am because I've committed to daily marketing videos for the rest of my life. Just kidding. I will do them every single day for many years to come. But getting back to the point here, you need to figure out what works for you and what you're going to actually do. I can't tell you how many times I hear entrepreneurs say, okay, Brandon, I'm going to go and I'm going to create X, Y, and Z this week, and I'm going to buckle down and I'm going to do it. And then what ends up happening is we meet the next week and they say, oh, you know what, I got so busy, I just didn't do it. But next week. And it's this constant cycle of beat yourself up because you didn't finish the content that you were supposed to, and you know what you're supposed to do, but there's some kind of resistance, and you just don't sit down to get started. And so don't fight that resistance. Figure out what is your medium, what it is that you want to do. Do you actually want to create videos for your business? If you don't want to create videos, can you take pictures? Can you create Instagram posts? Can you create stories? Can you create live videos? What is it that you're going to actually do? And make sure that you follow through, because something is always better than nothing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to have something so that you can engage with your clients and your customers. So once you have it figured out on what you're going to do, and I think this is important, you set a schedule and you stick to it. I'm a believer in this so much that I'm creating daily videos here. So I'm not just talking about here's what you need to do. I'm actually doing it. And not only am I creating videos, I'm creating podcasts, I'm creating email sequences. I'm doing all the things that I tell my clients to do. I actually had a revelation that about the first of the year, I'm telling all my clients, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this. And I wasn't doing it for my own business. So I turned it around and I said, I'm going to do everything that I'm telling my clients to do, because I think that I need to practice what I preach. And so I am doing it. Okay, so getting off my soapbox here, I just want to instill in you, it is important. You got to do it, okay? You got to do it. Don't hesitate, and you need to do it for sure. So once you have something that you can figure out, I think that starting with content that is kind of the lowest barrier to entry, in that if you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to create the most epic blog post. It's going to be a 20,000 word blog post, and it's going to be on this topic and this pain point. It's going to serve these people, and it's going to help to get them coming into my business. I think if you want to write that kind of stuff, fantastic. But you should do testing to make sure it's something that the marketplace actually wants, and more importantly, something that they actually need, okay? So how do you do that? I think that if you're posting, you use your posts as tests, and you test the water. You dip your big toe in there, and you test it. So let's say you are a solar company, for example, and you sell solar panel systems. I just think of that because it's a hot and beautiful sunny day outside. And you're going to help people to get solar panels. So there's like different angles and different things that you could be worrying about. People who are worried about the environment. They don't want to have a negative impact on the environment. And maybe that's what's most important to you, right? People that want to save money on bills. People that want to improve their property value. People that want to be like their neighbors because they have solars, right? You know, whatever it is that's motivating people, if you go and you create a piece of content for one angle and you've not tested it out yet, you're not going to know if this is going to be something that gets engagement, or maybe it gets negative engagement. So you need to figure out what it is that is going to really get good response. And then I think what you do is you create that easy piece of content to see, how does the marketplace respond to this? Am I getting comments? Am I getting likes? Am I getting shares? Am I getting questions? Am I getting engagement? And see, is this something that's viable? Now, this is why I love live video. I think live Instagram stories and live Facebook video are beautiful for this, because you pull out your phone, you start talking to it. The production time is far less than if you're putting out a camera like this, where I'm going to have to open Premiere Pro, I'm going to have to go through and edit it, I'm going to have to render it, I have to create the thumbnail, I have to do all of these things, and then I post it, right? So it's got like 2-3 hours of production time to get a single video out. Versus pull out a phone, start talking to the audience. So I think that if you can, more times than not, get started with content that's easier to produce and doesn't take as much post-production. Okay, that being said, especially for the content that you're trying to figure out, what are the main angles and the main pain points that you can use, I think that that's very, very helpful. Now, let's say you go and you do a live video, and you're getting good at doing live video, and it's in a way that you have a format. And I think that number one, having a format, understanding the who, what, where, why, when, and how that you're going to talk about before you go into it is the production that you need to do. You need to understand who it is you're talking to, why you're talking to them, what you're going to talk about, when you're going to talk about it, and how you're going to talk about it. So that's, across the mediums of marketing, you're going to be figuring out exactly what it is that you're talking about. And then once you have all of that figured out, you need to really just go out and do it and get better at it. You're going to get better by actually doing it. And understand that perfect is never something that you get to. You're always just progressing, and do as good as you can. That's all you got to do. And put it out there. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. That's life, okay? So once you have a piece of content that's produced and you like it, what you can do from there is you can take that video. Let's say you do a Facebook Live video. You can download it. You can upload it to YouTube, take that exact same video, make it a square video, upload it to IGTV or LinkedIn, reuse it on both of those platforms. You can take the audio and split it and put it into a podcast. You can then also create a blog post around it. And when you get something that's touching a nerve, especially when people are engaging with it, people are commenting on it, people are liking and sharing it, when you have something like that, you need to use it as much as possible. So I know there's a lot of people out there that say you need to have specific, unique content for every single platform. So you need to have LinkedIn strategy, you need to have a Facebook strategy. I do agree that there's different conversations happening on these platforms, but if you can create a piece of content and share it on Facebook and LinkedIn and IGTV and all of these places, you're going to be so much further ahead. I think that people a lot of times just feel that the marketplace is watching what they do. So they're going to say, well, they probably saw it on Facebook, so why would they want to see it on LinkedIn as well? People aren't paying that much attention to you. Not yet, until you start creating more content, right? Even if you're creating tons, people will not necessarily remember that you created something on Facebook or that it was on Instagram as well. So push it out where people are hanging out. And that way, if they see it, and you know what, if they see it a few times, right, they see the same piece of content on Facebook and LinkedIn, that's just going to solidify in their minds what it is that you do and what your message is. And so then going back to what I was talking about there, when somebody thinks of, okay, if I need a solar company, who's the solar person that I know? Do I know anybody? Because that's usually where people go first. Do I know anybody who does this? If they see you regularly posting about it, they'll come to you. They'll start asking you questions. They'll start asking for help. And that's the purpose of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make you that branded person, that expert, that go-to resource for whatever it is that you're selling. Listen, I hope that this was helpful. If you need more help, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can go to maverickdigitalmarketing.com and book a 30-minute completely free marketing idea session. So let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you. Comment down below if you have any questions at all, and I'll see you on the next video. So you should totally subscribe. Don't miss out on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.